Hello, Internet. This is Lambo coming to you from the nerdery, showing off another 3D terrain build I did for our Gloomhaven campaign. This is Scenario 12, Gloomhaven Square, B, if that really matters. It's kind of the same, just different ways you approach it. So, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know what's in the scenario, don't watch the video. I'm going to show you what I built out, and it goes through the whole level, including minis, bosses, or boss, and everything. So you've been warned. Anyway, this one's taken me a long time, and for good reason. This thing's huge, and I had this idea in my head of what I wanted it to look like, and I wouldn't stop building until it was done. And technically, I didn't really get to where I wanted it to be, but game night has to happen at some point. So, and I realized, in my opinion, I'm probably in everyone's opinion, I went a little overboard on this level. But it was just way too fun to build, and a village has always fascinated me as far as a D&D slash, miniature level that I wanted to build out. So I got going and going and going, and I just wanted to keep building and building and building. Okay, so here we go. First of all, I'll show you what the level's supposed to look like. Here's my obligatory overhead shot of the level. So at the top right, you start in what's called the Ghost Fortress. You move into Gloomhaven Square, and then you go out into the Gloomhaven town and go fight your way into Jekserah's village, house, mansion, whatever, on the bottom right there. All right, so that slight different orientation here. I'm gonna get overhead and try and show it to you all. That is the exact same, just sideways. Hope you can see all that. So I'm gonna start from the beginning, and we'll work my way around and show you everything I built. We played last night. It took forever. Oh, it was such a long campaign. We were all super tired. We barely made it through this thing. But we did pull it off. Oh, super shaky camera. Sorry. Okay. So you would start back here. We play a 5-player campaign. We start in the Ghost Fortress, right? Minis I'm using, in addition to the regular Gloomhaven ones, I have a couple Runewars miniatures, which are Fantasy Flight Games miniature war game. So the village guards here, they are Runewars Spearmen, and then the archers for the village are Runewars, I believe heavy archers are what they're called. They are from the Daqan faction, and or Daqan, I don't know how you say it. Then we'll slide over here. My elite living bones, they are also Runewars bosses, slightly modified. I just took off their antlers that they have in the back and made them bones instead. But everything else, Waiqar faction. And then you have your living corpses. You probably can't see that, but those are Reaper bones Ghasts. I'll put links in the description below for anything I've printed or made for this level. So the keep itself, keep is pretty slick. This is Rampage system from printablescenery.com. They make 3D printable tiles and terrain and everything. And so this is their Rampage system castle set and tower set. And I thought it looked fantastic. When I thought of doing a Ghost Fortress and I was looking around what I could get, that's what I came across and loved. And I really liked the gate. So cool thing about this level, if we can get down in here, everything opens. So to get the gate out, I can slide it up, and obviously a real gate wouldn't fit in there, but take some things for granted. I'll put it back on, and then you can, characters, I tested it to make sure the tallest character could stand there, and yeah, so that I thought that was pretty slick. The ground tiles themselves, these are high ground 3D printable tiles. High ground scenery does them, or high ground 3D terrain, I believe. It's totally modular. Each one clips into a base. I have got some over there. I'll show you in a second. And so these are their stone road tiles. Okay, so then we slide into the Gloomhaven Square here. So let's get this. Inside, or surrounding the square, we've got these walls. These are Infinite Dimensions 3D terrain company. They have these modular walls, and also the fountain right here as well. So That's all from it's their White Wood Abbey set, which looks fantastic. I've picked up the walls now, and that fountain I think is free. But I'm really interested in seeing if I can ever incorporate their whole abbey into something, just because it looks cool. But it's a huge print, and I don't own it yet. One thing I realized while this looks really awesome, we spent half the night standing up because we couldn't see some of what we were doing, and none of us really wanted to move the terrain too much because we liked how it looked. But in hindsight, I probably should have printed these slightly smaller walls, or looked for walls that had gates, more iron barring instead of stone wall, only so we could see into the level. But I mean, I did build a level so we could move stuff out, knowing that would be the case. So, like all of these, they lift out level by level. We can move these out section by section to get people have a good view of the level. That's one of the cool things about the Rampage system that printable scenery does. And then we just pulled these out halfway through the night as we got tired of looking in. So it was fun to build, fun to make. Not the most practical for game boarding, but whatever. Other cool thing about these high ground 3D tiles here is because they're stackable, I can make them in higher elevations. So I took that square in the middle and started elevating the fountain a little bit. So as you see here, this just pops off the top. There's these bases here, and it clips on. That's a slightly loose fitting, as I was trying to figure out the sizing I needed. For anyone who wants to do this for Gloomhaven, if you want to match your high ground tiles to Hirst Arts tiles, which is what I started on, that's 85% print for you 3D printers out there. Okay. Then we move into the other cool thing. Sorry, I almost forgot. These walls, they come off of Thingiverse. 3D designer by the name of Robogon, I believe is his name. And he makes some fantastic Gloomhaven stuff. And so those are his Thingiverse files, 3D prints for modular walls. So thanks, Robogon. Okay, so let's slide over into the village square section, or not the actual village portion. Same as before, the houses looked really cool. They ended up getting in the way, so we were pulling them off halfway through the night. But they looked neat. Before I get to the houses, the gate here, Infinite Dimensions, it opens as well. Thought that was awesome. That was kind of a must-have as I was looking for things I wanted to print. I wanted working, functional set pieces that still looked cool. Then we get into the actual town here. And these houses, they are all Fat Dragon Games village sets. Totally modular design. I picked these up originally because I'm trying to make a Zombicide board, and haven't quite got there yet for a Black Plague. But these village buildings, they're all, pop off the top. You could play inside or whatever. And I thought they looked really cool. These lampposts I thought were a nice touch. Also from Fat Dragon Games. Their village accessory set. This wagon here, or the cart tipped over, also a Fat Dragon Games print. Highly recommend you check out that company. They do some really cool stuff if you like 3D printed terrain. I forgot to tell you about the miniatures in the main room. Okay, so your regular living bones, also Runewars figures. They are just Waiqar faction regular living bone warriors or whatever. Your cultists, these guys. Cultists are Frostgrave cultists. And then, what else we got? Elite guards. So for elites, I try to find different models where it's possible. And I don't always do, but these are Song of Ice and Fire, cool mini or not produced Stark, I don't know, Sworn Swords, I think. So these are, I put it up too high. Stark Sworn Swords. That's what I use for elite guards. And then elite living corpses. I'm using Zombicide Black Plague. Oh, shoot. Zombie down. Zombicide Black Plague fatties. I think they make cool looking elites. Alrighty. Moving right along. Hop into Jekserah's mansion here. And this is that one part. In my mind, I wanted to have like a 2-story mansion that I would actually lift the roof off. And that wasn't ever going to happen. If I'm being realistic, it could have happened. I just didn't have the time. Okay. So, still looks really cool. The grass and dirt tiles here, all outside in this town area. They're not playable space. They just helped create the village. And these are all Hirst Arts. Oh, I'm not even pointing to the right one. You can see. Okay, these are all Hirst Arts tiles. And then, so to show you what the difference is between Hirst Arts and High Ground, if this is something you like to do. So let's back up here. So that's a Hirst Arts tile, or two glued together. They're plaster casts. You put something on the bottom, I do at least, just foam board to elevate them up a little bit, and I glue them all down. And I make a modular, so some tiles mimic the Gloomhaven tiles. Some are just two sets or whatever as I create borders, and I can place them how I want. High ground tiles, you print off these bases in various sizes. So this is a large base. You take these tiles, these are unprinted, and they just clip in. So that is a high ground tile placed onto a high ground hex base. This hex base is actually printed lower than normal so that it matches exactly my Hirst Arts tile's elevation. Normally the high ground tile base hex base is higher. But, you know, you paint them up and they clip in. And then as you want to, you know, rearrange and change different tile sets, you just pop them out and you move on. Okay, sorry. Back to Jekserah. So here's her manor. You've got still Fat Dragon Games Village, plus scenic items from various, you know, Hirst Arts, Dungeon Saga, Mantic Terrain, crate style scenery pieces, a chest off Gloomhaven group in Thingiverse. I can't remember who made this one. This might be a Robogon print as well, but it could not be because I don't remember. And then finally, Jekserah, the boss. So she, if you can see her, she is a Bones figure, a Reaper Bones figure, which I rebased and customized by adding some Tyrannid bits to her head and tail there, because it's like a demon. I can't remember what they call her in the game, but they kind of explain it like she's a demon-esque person, and she's on the cover art of the game, plus her picture in the game source art. I tried to paint her up just that way. Gave her horns and a tail. But there you go. That's my custom Jekserah. And there you have it. So, I'll back it up, show you the whole thing. Again, slow moving shot here. That is Gloomhaven Square, as the light bleeds it out a little bit. For Scenario 12, it was a monster of a level. I did not think we were going to win. And hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, I think I'm obliged to tell you to smash like and subscribe. Whatever. Just, you know, thanks for watching. And if you have any questions or comments, I will answer them. I try to respond to everyone who actually watches these and posts anything, because there's not many of you. But for the few and the proud who do, I salute you. So, hope you enjoyed this video, and happy gaming.